DSPN, the Devlin Sports Podcast Network.
It's Feedback Friday, Lachlan. It's Comment Corner, where we take your comments that you have written here on DSPN YouTube and have a little look at those, and we comment back on some of your comments. Let's kick it off. I always love and tune in when Greg Martin is on this podcast. Both of you have got such good banter and chemistry. It's always a blast to watch, says Joshua Ballinger. Joshua, I just want to say thanks very much for that, and I pass it on to Marto. Marto's, he's just a dude, isn't he? Yeah, we've known him for years and years, and he's come over. Actually, he was on holiday at the end of last year, came over with the son and came around to see me and that. And so thank you very much for that. I'll pass it on. Hope you guys get to 5,000 subscribers. You deserve it. The best sports pod in New Zealand. Cal the Kiwi again. I just want to say thank you for that. Look, when somebody actually says something nice to you, it's hard in New Zealand to respond to it. You go, oh, no, it's not really me. It's the team. And I don't.
You were not good at it. Then again, we're not.
I'm good at it. I say thank you very much.
We're probably not. Well, it's the Devlin ego showing through, isn't it?
I hate the truth. This is not Truth Corner. This is Comment Corner, okay?
All right, fine. I'll
About that 2015 semi-final, Lachlan, that game was won when Sam Whitelock stole a line out on the All Black 25 line. That's talking about against South Africa, right, in 2015. If South Africa had won that line out, they would have played for a penalty, match over. The most valuable line out in All Black history. Well, the Black Ferns will probably tell you about a line out that happened in their World Cup final in 2023. But in All Black history, that's twice now. Samuel Whitelock has
22.
Done something. Oh, sorry, 22. Done something amazing at the end of a game at a World Cup when we were there in Paris. Did he not?
Yep, he did. He also did something which a friend of mine actually pointed out to me in the final against Australia. That my friend said that it would have been a penalty. I don't think so because I don't think it was intentional. But just before Beauden Barrett scores that runaway try and Ben Smith has put the kick in, Australia are passing the ball out left, and then the ball goes to ground because I can't remember who it is. I think it might have been Matt Giddo maybe, who was about to receive the ball. He falls over and he gets tripped up by the trailing legs of Sam Whitelock, who was leaping to tackle someone else. Now, I don't think he did it on purpose.
Sam Whitelock, he didn't do it on purpose. Or if he did,
he masked it very well, but those legs were very outstretched as if he was Superman flying. Go back and watch the footage.
Okay, it wasn't like, who was the South African...
Oh, Eben Etzebeth.
Who ran and when we had a 4-on-1 overlap in the final, should have got yellow carded. We're not salty about it.
Got in the way of a pass. Yeah.
Lachlan, that 2015 team was probably the GOAT, not for just winning the World Cup. Semi-final included. The reputation for the peerless years 2012 to 2015 were incredible. Barely lost a game. Yeah, absolutely.
Was that comment suggesting that I don't think that? I think that. I agree. Absolutely.
All right. Now, I don't see, because... I don't get people saying, is it Damon I followed?
You're wasting too much mental energy on worrying about people's handles.
Okay. You blasted the Warriors. Now you love them. You're not a true fan. You're a yo-yo fan. You hate and judge them when they lose. Then I'm the greatest fan when they win. Pathetic! Up the Wah's biggest bandwagon fans in sports history. I replied to that and I said, absolutely, mate. They deserved a rocket after the Canberra game. And look, you can be whatever fan you want to be. But I'm a fan of several teams I've been a fan of for decades. And when they play like rubbish, I give it to them because that's what a fan does. And that's how I grew up. You get it. You cop it when you play like rubbish. And the Warriors deserve that. They also deserve fulsome praise for the way they've bounced back and won 2 games. But I'm not a fan who just sits there and waves these and, the boys, and I love the boys. No, hell no. You're going to wear it if you play like you did against Canberra and Vegas.
Yeah,
they deserved it.
I guess it's something Warriors fans aren't used to doing because they excuse the team's performances year after year after year.
And that's why their bar is set so goddamn low.
I mean, you do give it to teams like myself when they play poorly, and you will praise them when they do well. But because the Warriors, it's like 4 seasons in one day, in one season for that team. They'll beat the best teams, they'll lose to the worst. It's what they've done for 20 to 30 years.
Only for 30 years.
So therefore, if they're doing that, you're going to be happy one week, sad the next week, angry one, jubilant the other.
Isn't that what a fan does?
Yeah. And then blame it on the team. Don't blame it on your childness.
Sheesh, says this one. The 3 wins the Aussie teams have had over the first 6 rounds were 2 versus the Landers, 1 versus the Blues. This does not indicate any Aussie takeover of any description. Too much hype. That was in response to what Pod was saying. So Richard Turner on the program. I disagree with that because I think it's significant when Australia wins over here because for years they couldn't
Reds
do
and
it.
Brumbies have won games in New Zealand.
That's right. And so, the thing is that's just a hurdle Australian rugby had to get over psychologically as much as anything else.
and it'll be obviously telling to see what happens tonight in Wellington. You've got a Waratahs side that has got Joseph Swiley back, and you've got a Hurricane side that is missing now more players.
15 players.
To be fair to them, their injury toll is now probably on par with the Blues.
Well, it's probably worse, to be honest.
Well, for a little while they were missing not as many players, and I'd argue not as many key players as the Blues, but that's probably gone up now.
Is that the Blues side that used to be in the Super Rugby ranking?
It's the one that you kicked out in favour of Georgia.
This message here, Jude O'Brien. The Blues have lost quite a few players that are crucial. Tuipulotu, Offa, Ioane, it's gone overseas. They'll need to review at the end of the year, cut some marginal players.
That's more than that they've lost.
Can't see them climbing out of this season. All right. I still think there's a chance they'll make top six.
No, don't you dare.
They will be back.
No, you cannot say that because you have been the biggest Blues.
Yes,
I'm not a Blues fan.
Yeah, I've
had to defend that team from your wrath, okay? You have absolutely ripped into them while ignoring the fact the Crusaders went through the same thing a year ago.
I'm opening the door slightly is what I'm doing.
I won't hear it.
Well, because Joshua Weber says worse than, well, shut up, Martin. Your hatred for Auckland coming to the forefront. Yeah, they had a bad night against the Crusaders, but they only lost to both New Zealand and Australia's best sides by a single point. So many injuries to key players. I'm glad I'm racking you up about this because, again...
Shut up, Martin.
To whom much is given, much is expected. They're a team that are the champions.
Yeah, but those guys are injured.
No, look, I'm just saying...
The players you've given things they were expecting from, they're in the hospital.
They are a team that is supposedly defending their title, and they're doing it terribly.
The problem is that you didn't do this to the Crusaders a year ago. Not really.
I did. I just didn't give it to Rob Penny. I didn't give it to Rob Penny.
But you didn't talk much about the injuries, and then now you are with the Blues. And if you want to sit there and say that you did give it to the Crusaders, but they're playing well now. So the fact they didn't have all these players missing.
I'm opening the door for the Blues.
I close the door. We don't want you opening the door.
I'm opening the door.
This is locked. You're not allowed in this house. Go away.
Bruce McLeod said it's tough supporting the Blues. They're playing like schoolboys. I replied to that, hang in there, mate. Every team I support has had shite seasons of late. Then all of a sudden they can start.
Why are you not a Blues fan? Why are you talking about the teams you support?
Miles always reckons I'm a Blues fan.
Yeah, because you're a bandwagoner. So you keep jumping on different teams.
Brian Kelly. One thing that generates public bitching and criticism that almost defines sports in New Zealand is when teams are firing blank, just like the Crusaders were under fire now. It's the Blues. And he goes on, yeah, you're exactly right. Radio Sport in 1998 just grew on the back of the All Blacks losing 5 matches that year. We started in April, and the All Blacks had come off 1997, unbeaten year, drew the last one against England. We lost Sean Fitzpatrick, we lost Zinzambrook, we lost Frank Bunce, we lost... Who else did we lose?
Well, I was one.
We lost Olo Brown. We lost Olo Brown as well. So you lose your tight head prop, your hooker, your world-class number 8 and the best centre in the world. We lost 5 matches in a row. But, man, did people go off about that. I mean, you think the All Blacks lose now, and it's just like, the All Blacks lose.
No, it's not. No, and you've banged with... I kind of get what you're saying, that we're getting a little bit more used to it, and we shouldn't be.
We shouldn't be.
But you are wrong. I think people do still feel pain, and you often like to blame you blame the younger generation.
I blame your generation.
Yeah, you blame us for everything, even though you raised us. No, people do care. People are hurt. Yes,
I don't blame you for the fact you never buy a house in your lifetime.
No, I don't know whose fault. I don't know. I don't know much about money. I have no money. I'm just waiting for Mum and Dad to shuffle off, and I'll take their house.
Richard Turner, thank you so much for watching this. Got well over 10,000 views. Really good analyst of the game. Chiefs or Crusaders will win the Super Rugby, says this message. Yeah, I think that even at this early stage, there's 7 rounds to go. I think we could just about say that now, that there's your 2 final teams. And I'm not being, some magic predictor by saying this.
It's a top 6, which is wonderful because it's no longer 2/3 of the teams go to the finals. Now, is it 3rd place 6th and 4th place 5th? But there's something about a lucky loser. I can't remember how it works. I need to do my research.
I know that you can lose and still get into the semi-finals.
Yeah, essentially, if you lose, but you're the highest seeded loser, you go to the semis, I think. Mm-hmm. It's a bit early to tell. I think the Reds might have a bit to say about that. Depending on what happens. Now, Leskis might be named the coach soon, and if he is,
Australian
obviously,
the
the Wallabies coach. Yeah, Leskis, who's the Reds coach, sounds like he's going to be the Wallabies coach. If that happens, obviously he'll probably see out the season, right? What will that do to the team? Will that totally tear apart the environment?
Yeah. Well, I think that it's all about whether these Australian teams get games at home also, in the playoffs.
Hopefully they do. Can I just say, I think the Reds will have a bit to say about it. The Hurricanes, I have no idea. The Highlanders, a lot have to go their way. The Waratahs and the Brumbies, I think, are both, we can say now, a step below the Reds. And if they have to go on the road to play the New Zealand teams in the final or the semis, that'll be tricky. If they get their players back, and they go on a run, which the schedule is easier.
Well, I'm opening the door for my Blues.
No, I don't want to hear it because I'm ignoring that you said that, which is why I'm bringing it up now. You are a Blues hater, all right?
Oh, stop it,
Blue
mate.
is the colour of your heart and your soul.
Stop it.
Well, no, it's black. It's not blue. If they can get on a run, they're 1-5. 8-6 probably gets you in. Does 8-6 get you in? If there's only 6 teams now,
oh, it's pretty close. Tony Johnson.
The Blues could put a run together.
Tony Johnson talking about Grizz Wyllie, and Tony told a couple of fantastic stories. And we've got some great texts about that. So I could listen to Tony all day. Great stuff. Yeah, Tony's
told a
brilliant.
great one off here as well.
We wish we could, but we might have to. Look, when we start doing subscriptions and things on the podcast, we'll actually have kind of like a door that you go in, that you've got to be brave to go in that door, and then the real truth will be told behind that door. And we'll do that at some stage.
The real Devlin truth.
But Tony Johnson's with us every Monday. And look, the stories about Grizz, if you haven't watched that interview with him, there's fantastic stories. And he's not name dropping or anything. He's just telling you so that you get to know a little bit about who Alex Wyllie was. Great episode, Martin. It inspired me to subscribe. I'd be interested to hear an episode about setting up the DSPN. No, you wouldn't, because that's it'd just be the most boring piece of television in the history of boring.
Well, no, but if it was a quick 15-20 minute report about how that might actually be interesting. Because there's a bit of a. Is there a story behind it? There's a little bit of a story.
Yeah, we were kind of working, and we were
working
that
somewhere
wasn't
else,
going well, and then
things fell apart,
and then we kind of came here.
Ended up here.
Yeah.
There you go. There's your story.
I grew up watching the VHS, which is videos.
I know.
Okay.
I grew up with tapes as well. I grew up with them.
The classic All Black documentaries, Blood, Sweat, Touring, Good, Bad, Rugby, Wyllie Bunch. Grizz came across as one of those coaches you would have run through a brick wall for. So well said. And I think that's the guy. And I was talking about this with Miles, and you can watch that interview today on the podcast as well. And that we were lucky. We bored Alex. We both, me and Miles, got him in the pincer movement. It's called the Davis Devlin. It's called Wimbledon. One starts on this side of the draw, one starts on that side of the draw. It's like at the pub, and then you just pincer the guy into a corner where he just basically can't get out.
The thing is, if someone else did this to you, you'd hate it. You hate it when people latch on to you at a pub, I'm sure, which I'm sure.
Well, he's one of my best friends, Miles. That's how it started.
Isn't that how your producer before me, more or less?
Thomas Harris.
Yeah, he did.
That's how he got me. Mate,
yeah.
He called me in the supermarket car park. I couldn't get rid of the bastard. I had about 9 bags in the car, and he was just in my ear, and I got into the car. I'm not joking. The window, it didn't have one of those. The window was up, and he was talking through the window. I had to put the window down, and look, he honestly latched onto me like a crocodile. About 15 minutes later, I get into work the next day. This is a true story. And tell the boss, I said, I found him. I said, I found my new producer. I said, I couldn't get rid of the guy. 15 minutes he bored me. Martin, the Crusaders will more than likely be top of the table by the weekend. A comfortable win should put them a point higher than the Chiefs with a much higher points diff. Crusaders are definitely humming, which is scary. Yes, if they beat MP by a point, you've got the Reds as well who can get there with a bonus point, but the Crusaders are ahead of them points differential. I expect the Crusaders, no disrespect to MP, I expect them to score 4 tries and get a bonus point here. Is it 4 tries?
It's 3 try difference, I think. We worked this out on Wednesday.
In that case, maybe not the bonus point. If MP stiffen up their defence.
No, I think.
As Lala Mapusua said to us yesterday.
Yes, because the Chiefs didn't get a bonus point on Friday night. That's right. I was crunching these numbers on Saturday morning because they're only on 22 now and they were on 18. Yes, so it is. It's 3.
But agree, yeah. Crusaders are humming. That'll be no question about it. That's why they're top of my rankings, because I feel that at the moment they are playing the best rugby.
And now that's a
marginally ahead of the Chiefs.
It's a 7:05 game in Christchurch, correct?
4:35 Arvo.
4:30. Okay, excuse me.
Running rugby.
Then who's at 7:30 or 7:05?
The Reds and the.
But that'll be over in Australia.
Force. Yeah, after
so that'll be 9.
Oh, it might be 9:35.
Anyway, but I don't know. I think Crusaders will win that bonus point win without it. Might grab 3 tries, maybe 4 if they're lucky. They can score points, but they don't stop them. And the Crusaders the last few weeks have been scoring. So 55 against the Reds? Mm-hmm. Or might have been 55 against the Force.
They could have put 50 on Auckland, could have.
They should have. So they've scored 40 or more in 3 straight games. They've been convincing wins, and one of them on the road as well. This could get ugly.
Aussies are doing much better. Keep in mind the New Zealand teams haven't played much on the other side of the ocean yet. Their skill set for the Aussies look good, and a couple of quick young wingers as well. Yeah, as much as we all think that, okay, Australia come in here, our guys have got to go over there. The second half of the season, there's a lot of inter-New Zealand matchups as well. So it's not all cut and dried yet, but I'd say at this stage, Crusaders, Chiefs, they're locks. I reckon that 2 Australian sides make it. And then the other 2, it's a bit like the NRL. There's 4 or 5 teams, 6 teams maybe fighting for 2 spots. And the Hurricanes and the Highlanders are still my faves.
The Highlanders are away to the Brumbies, of course, tonight. I was right. Crusaders Moana is at 7:05 on Saturday tomorrow.
Oh, okay, my bad. Well, I'll be sitting there watching it at 4:35, wondering where the hell the rugby
just waiting, with a blank. The TV screen won't even be on. You'll just be sitting there
going away for the weekend for one of those nice weekends that you do when you live with someone. And I said yesterday, do they have Wi-Fi where we're going?
Why?
That's exactly what she said. She said, why do we need Wi-Fi?
Why do we need Wi-Fi?
The thing on the TV.
Well, because you've got Chiefs at home to the Reds in a week's time. Crusaders away to the Ndrua. Highlanders away to the Force.
Game of NRL to watch as well on Saturday night.
Chiefs are away to the Waratahs a week after that. You've got the Highlanders and Hurricanes away to the Force. Yeah, you have got a few of those Australian teams hosting New Zealand teams.
Okay, couple to go. Keep it simple, says Bright Lights of Vegas, reality check, come back down to earth, Warriors. It's early days, long season. Don't jinx it, one game at a time. Don't get carried away. Save it for if they make the 8. That's if. For me, says this texter, messenger, I'm on the West Tigers bandwagon. I know it's early days. That game on Sunday night, what a way to wrap up the weekend of sport, to look forward to a really good game of league with much consequence
maybe if you're
on
a
it.
Warriors fan. I guess if you're an objective fan, you've got a team who's got 3 straight wooden spoons and they're playing, the Warriors?
Yeah, but both of them are 2-1. One of them's going to be so close to the top 4, if not in it after the weekend. There's a game with significance. There's a lot riding on that game. And if 8:15 on a Sunday night, if you're thinking, oh, God, I can't sleep, what am I going to do? Oh, I go to bed
read a
early.
book. If you can't go to sleep, read a book. Don't watch the TV. That's what I do.
Have you watched that Adolescence yet? You've got to watch that on Netflix.
No, I saw someone tweeting about it the other day.
Disturbingly good television. Do you know? Okay, just one little word about it. I know it's got nothing to do with this. Every episode is filmed one camera, one shot. So the whole hour is just a camera film.
So it's like a Birdman kind of thing.
So the actors have to be so on point because they've got to get everything right. And episode 3 is the most chilling television.
I would think it's pretty well edited together, right?
It's not, mate. It's one shot.
Sure it's one shot?
One shot. There's
a film, Birdman, which I can't remember who it's directed by. It came out years ago, where it looks like it's one shot the whole time for 2 hours. I think in Glorious
Bastards, that opening scene was one shot as well. They're really chilling. Anyway, final text. Two texts. Richard Kaiho, I love this. The boys are going well. Keep it gone, Warriors.
Keep it going.
See what he's done there?
Yeah.
Isn't that good?
Well, no, because I'm not a Warriors fan.
Keep it going, Warriors. I love that.
Stop trying to get all this Warriors cheesy, nice, sweet chocolate sundae kind of stuff out of me. I'm not giving it to you.
Finally, can I have a job? That's how we finish this one. Can I have a job? Users not bristle, whoever you are. Can I have? Yes, you've got a job. As soon as the Warriors finish above the Broncos this year in the NRL, Lachlan says he's off. He says he can't stand it. He says he can't do it anymore.
So 2 things happen, and I'm going to this game, which just is going to backfire. So the Warriors host the Broncos. I think it's Easter weekend. I think it's the Saturday of Easter weekend. So I'm going to that game with my dad because he's back in the country.
Oh, this is reliving when you were 12. What a try,
Yeah,
Rev.
last time Dad and I went to
Rev.
Oh, no, we went to a corporate box a couple of times. So since that game, but you know that I'm 0-5 watching the Broncos live,
including grand final.
Yeah, including the 2015 grand final.
Okay, but this is it. If the Warriors finish above the Broncos this year, you're going to be doing girly podcasts, aren't you?
I think if the Warriors, truthfully, if the Warriors finish ahead of the Broncos this year and the Broncos don't have a legitimate excuse to have fallen behind the Warriors on the table, I will probably resign.
There you go. So you've got a job, mate.
I will be radio silent I'll do what Lewis Hamilton did after he lost the 2020. I'll do Aaron Rodgers, retreat in the dark.
Oh, in the
room.
dark, yeah.
That's
the
what
magic
I'll do.
mushrooms.
I can't see anyone. I can't look at anyone. I won't throw them away, but my Broncos jerseys, they'll be put in a box for a long time. I wouldn't be able to handle it. So
keep them coming. Keep commenting. And also, look, it's okay to agree to disagree, but if you're just going to write stuff that's nasty, well, then what happens is we've got a moderator who comes in and they just remove all of that and they block it. They do all of that kind of stuff, okay? But if you've got something to say and you want to debate, we're not right. We're not wrong. We're kind of just sitting there talking about sport. Doesn't really get any more complicated than that.
Up the Broncos.
Wise versus Tigers.
DSPN.